to make another video. My travel plans get postponed magically. I think we haven't spoken to make another live. We promised.
Do you want to tell
So,
them what happened or no?
oh, I don't know. Let's just leave it. Yeah, it's just I messed up so badly. I thought
Okay.
yeah, but as a result,
But it's okay.
it's okay. I just
Mhm.
yeah, I incorrectly checked the dates. As a result, we have one more day together, which is great.
Mhm.
And what do you do with unexpected time? We just do a little bit of work. Yesterday went to New York, so we played a lot,
Oh,
and
so fun.
yeah, so many
It's
things.
so fun.
And New York was beautiful, actually. Yeah, I was surprised. I was not overwhelmed. We did everything we planned, and
It
today,
was so much. I
yeah,
don't know how
so
we did
much.
it. We must have hit a time warp.
I think so. So, today we are all ready to share some more knowledge and understandings. I had a nice interview with Lorna. Some things opened up.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna be hitting few main points as they come. Guys, if you have some questions, of course, please share. If you're going through something and you want to share with the community, because it's not only about us teaching, it's about us learning through the experience.
Mhm.
Since all of those twin flame examples are different. We all come here with slightly different blueprints, and the only way to learn is to share and be open.
Mhm.
So, Lorna, do you want to start with some of the points that we discussed?
No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. No.
You have something?
Yeah, what point was that?
I was thinking to discuss a little bit more how much the openness in the journey helps you to move to
Uh,
the next stage.
yeah.
Because of course we are starting with this very little bubble that we meet someone and we are very attracted to each other. But that's not the end. There's a
No,
bigger
and some
picture.
people are not attracted. It's not a physical thing.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're attracted to the love. Sometimes you're attracted to something else. It's not always physical attraction. But yeah, vulnerability, I think, is what we really want to discuss, right?
Mhm.
Because if you don't open up, that means you're not being vulnerable. And if you want help, you have to be vulnerable.
Mhm.
So, what are ways that we can open up with the twin flame
Mhm.
community? What are ways?
Yeah.
You want to list a couple of.
Mhm. Yeah, I think just first being really open to hear other people's experiences because it's there's so many different ways. Like we cannot count how many twin flame counterparts we have. I've heard so many different examples from people. Some people are deciding to stay within one couple, like one twin flame pair. Some people prefer to experiment by removing the labels altogether from their journey because they feel at some point it's limiting because it requires you to know what's really going on with your journey.
Mhm.
And the more evolved you are, very often the more humble you are
Mhm.
into understanding that the story is evolving as we are expanding our consciousness. So we are really learning to navigate that and exploring more and more, putting labels aside and just searching for this inner truth to be able to explore and find the truth how actually your life wants to rearrange yourself by removing things from your life that are not serving you, that are actually serving your further expansion. Oh, thanks for coming in. And again, if you have anything to add, to share, please pop it in the chat. Yeah, so I think this openness, because that's what we see, it's kind of backfiring sometimes. Like you share from your heart and you really
Mhm.
feel like it can be helpful for the community
Mhm.
to stop being small, right? It's like,
Yes. Stop
okay,
playing small.
yeah,
Right. Stop playing
stop
small.
playing small. And I think this is the first step. Like work on your open-mindedness, understanding, and respect towards the information that are coming towards you because deep inside you feel authenticity. It cannot be misunderstood. So it just sometimes takes time when you're facing someone with slightly different story than yours.
Mhm.
Very often our first solution or maybe way to deal with that is to oppose, to resist, because it may be a little bit uncomfortable because growth is sometimes uncomfortable. So I would say openness for me is like work on the being open minded and question not only what other people are saying, but what are you thinking? Do you think your belief system will be staying with you the whole life and keeping you in the same position and keep trapped
Hmm.
in the same patterns?
Yeah, I just want to add a little something. We're authenticating, right? But in order to authenticate, you need to be your truth. But if you aren't vulnerable, then how true are you? So the journey is about being true to yourself, but you're going to practice with others. How are you going to get to that place of being completely true?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that starts with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, it starts with you first. And
How to reconnect with yourself then? What if
yeah,
someone doesn't know? It's like, oh, I don't really know what I believe in. I don't know. My mind is saying to me one thing, and then my heart just doesn't agree with that. My soul tries to steer me in a completely different direction. Like,
mhm.
how do you find a center once it's a mess and it's like confused?
You find a quiet place, you either meditate and you go directly into your heart. It's really the only way to do it.
Mm.
And I'll share something that I do because it works all the time. And this is only to connect with my mother who passed. I and people are going to find it weird. People might make comments, but I put one of I put my little finger in my belly button because that's what attached me to my mother when when I was born. So whenever I want to contact my mother, I put my little finger in my belly button. I always get the messages that I need.
Mm.
And so everyone's going to have their own way. And if you find your own way, if you think, oh, this is too crazy, this is weird, you can connect to your heart and you can connect to others at any given moment. But you have to get the mind out of there because your mind is tricky. So if you go into your heart, you're always going to find what you need. It
Mm.
sounds really simple, but I'm telling you, it is simple.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to simplify our lives. We're not supposed to make them
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, challenging and complicated.
Yeah.
It's about simplifying your life and being true.
Mm. And exploring probably what works for you to bring you into
Yes.
presence.
Yeah, because we're all unique.
Mm-hmm.
And what works for me might not work for you. But I share the belly button thing
Mm-hmm.
because I like to share.
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
like to share, and that works for me.
yeah, no, that's good point. No, because it gets so tricky, especially when we're talking about people that are in those different stages, they cannot really figure out where they stand in their journey.
Hmm.
Not necessarily talking about their counterparts. Their counterparts, they're on their own journey in a way, but you may feel guided to support them in a way. And
Absolutely.
then I think the
Absolutely.
tricky part is how do you take your ego out of that, right? Like, could you share some experience on that?
How do you take your ego out of, well,
Because ego likes control, right? Like ego
yeah.
wants to have
So
certain.
you have to have worked on that part
Mm,
for some time before you were with your counterpart, right?
mm,
Because you don't get to be with a counterpart until you've worked on many,
mm,
many things ahead of time. So hopefully the ego has found its place because the ego has to find its place. And its place is below the heart. Even though our heads are up here and the heart is here, just imagine the ego has to be below the heart
mm,
because the heart is in control. The heart is the soul. That's in
mm,
control. That's your connection to source.
mm,
But source gave us a mind because we needed a mind, right? So
mm,
it's how are we gonna float around as souls without a
mm,
mind? We have bodies, we have all these things.
mm,
So but always see it this way that your heart must be in control, right?
mhm,
Because that is the universal life force energy that is there for us all to use appropriately and in connection with the mind. So if you're just using your mind to navigate the journey, you're missing out on what your soul
mm,
can bring, what your spiritual being can bring into the picture. And so I hope that
Mm. Yeah, one thing
helps
I
people.
wanted to clarify, because we were talking about it. Do you consider heart as our emotional body? Is that the same?
No,
Heart versus soul? Because sometimes it's get confusing, right? We think, oh, we have mental body, we have emotional body, and many people can say, oh, my emotional body is my heart, and
no.
my heart desires this.
For me, I'm
Mm,
not gonna be like I'm an expert,
mm,
but for me, your emotional body is tied to your ego. And I know people are gonna get angry, but think about this. When you get angry, where's that coming from?
mm-hmm.
Where does anger come from?
Yeah, it's from emotional body.
Emotional
Mm,
body. Where is your emotional body?
mm.
Here. Because does your soul get angry?
Oh, so you would say this is still within the mental.
Is in the mental.
Mm,
That is my opinion.
mm-hmm.
You don't have to believe me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people can think and learn other things, but in my journey, I figured out that for me, my emotional body is part of the ego. To include your heart,
Mm-hmm.
but your heart is above your mind,
Mm-hmm.
always.
And probably your like deep heart doesn't really get triggered, right? I think maybe that's the way to differentiate them. Emotional body, that's a good way to differentiate those. Like it's just your pure heart, your soul will not be triggered, or will try to understand, sympathize with people without explaining their behaviors. That there's a difference, right? Like when you're really seeing with the heart, you see the reality, you see the truth, and you're holding a space for someone to give them a chance to work on themselves, but without engaging like emotionally into their dramas, or even the drama within the connection, but you
Oh,
stay
yeah.
out of it, you observe. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
Questions?
oh, Astroviber 1111, welcome. Anger is trigger for the weakness, so the reason to and overcome it. See the reason and overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talk so much about work on your triggers. Like don't put it on your partner or your counterpart. Really sit with yourself and try to analyze what this trigger is showing you. Is it showing you codependency? Is it showing you your need of control, how things will be unfolding? This is very precious. Thank you.
Are there other questions?
No, I cannot see further questions for now. Looking, scanning through. We've had so many talks over the last couple days. It was very enlightening. Um, we were talking a little bit what happens if your partner, not partner, if your counterpart or someone who you're currently sharing your experience, the twin flame, they seem to be flipping in between different behaviors towards the connection. I'm not talking towards you. I think it's important to understand that it's not really only two people engaged in a twin flame experience. We all always have this like a background field that some people like to say unified field, or the field that we are creating with each other, that we are meant to nurture. Um, because it creates a balance, it creates a peace in our environment. So what do you do? Have you ever experienced this kind of situations that we are flipping, like we cannot really figure out where do we stand in the connection?
Well, labels, right? It can seem really bipolar, right? Or people call it schizophrenic, or you could call it a lot of mental disorders, or what they call, or di- mental disorders, but really we're kind of flip flopping through multi-dimensional uh, layers.
So what do you do with that? Like what is the
It is
any ideas how to proceed?
okay, so it is up to the individual to understand that and to be responsible for all of their behaviors that come from these layers. So if you don't recognize it, you have people that you know that are going to recognize it. You may see a doctor that will talk to you about it. But the important thing is that you don't go into denial about it, because who cares if people think you're crazy? Who cares about the label? You know you're not crazy. You know you're going through this flip flopping, and um, just try to humble yourself and accept people's observation about you, accept your own observation about you, and start learning how to relax.
Mm. Does the waiting out could help a little bit? Like instead of reacting right
Absolutely.
away, oh my God, this person is
Absolutely.
just flipping. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I see the connection is really like triggered somehow, and there are some shifts. Maybe there are shifts that we are going through, and maybe the lesson or the way out of it is just to wait it out, observe, because we do have this reactivity in us sometimes that we work very hard to maintain those connections, and it takes time, it takes effort. Of course, it's very supported by the universe because they want us to keep building those relationships.
Mhm.
And sometimes people may be even tempted, just to throw it all out just
Yeah.
because it gets too uncomfortable, or oh, there was some weird flip, what happened all the way. It was right until it wasn't.
And then they blame their partner.
And they blame.
Look what you did to me. You sent me to Alabama. What? How did I send you to Alabama? No. But we tend to blame everyone instead of understanding, hey, man, I sounded a little wackadoodles there, but I'm back now.
Yeah.
And hopefully have a partner that's like, yeah, you can laugh it off, right?
You need to be able to talk about these moments, right? Like this
Yeah,
is, if you
of course.
cannot and you feel like it's on your shoulders and you're trying to analyze the behaviors of both at the same time and trying to navigate the connection, it's gonna be very tricky. So I think when it happens, it needs to be spoke, because I'm talking more about, I think, to people who have tendencies to protect their own peace or the peace within the connection at all costs. Almost like to removing this any triggers, like I don't want to trigger her or him because it's gonna get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And deep inside you know that they are acting from their a little bit lower self. So I do believe what we are helping each other in those journeys, especially talking about twin flame partners, ascension partners, but I'm also talking about the community that we create, because we are example of those connections that are happening a little bit on broader scale. We are beginning to recognize soul family connections that we may experience similar dynamics. We do have triggers with each other because the personalities are here to show us the differences and to show us, or maybe give us opportunity to learn to detach from our emotional bodies, from our judgments, from our expectations, how people should be um, acting towards us. So I think it's beautiful. Like it almost feels, again, it starts with a separation that we are being gifted, right? Like everyone's afraid of separations, but it's such a beautiful opportunity to observe yourself, maybe learn to detach from your emotional body, mental body, and then when they begin to flip and the emotional body gets very reactive, just to train yourself, okay, I know how to ground myself. I can go for a walk, I can touch my belly button. Whatever works for you.
Ma. No, there's, I would say, if you want someone to be patient with you,
Mm.
be patient with you. If you want someone to love you, love you. If you want someone to respect you, respect you. So I think I think it just is a way of, or we're experiencing relationship, and we're going through like the cleansing process to bring a relationship that is healthy here for others to follow.
Yeah, I wanted to even take it further because we've recently experienced something that the third party was being triggered, and that was their individual process that they were going through. We were put in a very uncomfortable spot. Our story, our trip went through some sort of a changes and change in itinerary. We needed to adapt. And then, of course, that could have triggered different things in ourselves. But we literally decided to distance ourselves, right? Like, leave space for someone to do their job. but also don't influence someone else's process and emotional turmoils to influence our time here, because we knew we met here not for the sake of blaming and just shaming anyone. We are doing our work here, so we are showing, we are working on our light. So yeah, I think that was a good lesson to how do you stay out of it at the same time you keep your boundaries. You are entering next stages maybe of a relationship with someone, and then if you have people who can detach, you just detach, observe, and give them space.
Mhm.
I think there is a question for you, Lorna. Do you think the maturity is needed to solve personality issues?
Absolutely. Is the maturity needed to solve personality issues? Yeah, because if you don't have the maturity, then you won't have the tools to solve the personality issues. So if if you're immature, it's usually due to trauma, something that happened, because you wouldn't be immature at, let's say, 50 something years old if you didn't have some sort of trauma that pulled you
Or freeze you?
or froze you
Frozen.
or kept you from growing. So absolutely. And uh, if you ask me, maturity, you can mature if you have. See?
Mm-hmm. I think that helps
Yeah,
because you're
absolutely.
mirroring, right? Like
If
we choose our mirrors here.
if we
It's
didn't have the
mm,
healthy family member,
mm,
we never had it, right? Let's say we never had it.
mm-hmm,
And if the universe gave you people so you can play it out
mm-hmm,
and rewrite it
mm.
to mature, and your personality starts to shine, and that is what I believe.
Yeah, that brings me to the next point actually, that we can meet people who will be feeling like they're playing out different roles in our lives. Like we can meet someone and we
Yeah.
feel this person feels like a brother to me, or this person feels like a mother to me, and of course like scenarios will be arranged to show you that, to remind you something from the past.
Yeah.
So it just shows this again openness, right? Like don't judge the experiences. Maybe even you can start appreciating that you were able to replace some scenario from the past and break some patterns, because there is no other way. People from the past, they are not already here. They cannot join you. They cannot cooperate with you to rewrite your experience. So that's where, we have this term of soul family, and actually this is not very much different. We're coming together. You attract those people to be
Mhm.
able to play those roles with yourselves. And you just need to be in a certain level to recognize it, certain level to not to allow personality issues come into play,
Mhm.
because we cannot really cherry pick here. We have the whole spectrum of different personality issues that will be coming to you. How to deal with them? You need to first look at the people with open heart.
Somebody else have a
Mm.
question.
Oh yeah. Hi, I faced trauma in my childhood from a parent, and I have been getting videos saying I must break in order to become a better person. But I'm afraid to break and let all the hell loose.
Hmm. What would you say to that?
Mm, there might be some sabotage issues here, that you're afraid to let go. Sometimes letting go means processing very deep grief, very deep pain, and not really seeing the freedom that's waiting for you on the other side. And sometimes we are so overwhelmed by the heaviness of our trauma that we almost feel like we cannot make it go away, like we cannot heal it, like we cannot remove it from our life. It becomes like part of our personality, taking a lot of energy in our field and our
Mhm.
focus.
Mhm.
So the only way is just gradually, very gradually, by being gentle with yourself, to know, to build this trust in yourself that this is only part of my personal story. but we can try to rewrite them. It doesn't mean you're gonna be forgetting what happened to you in the past. It means that you're not gonna allow to these experiences from the past to direct your current emotions or states. Because you see, traumas, I forgot, yeah, if you have a trauma from your parent, if you don't resolve them, you're gonna be bringing them into the relationships. And if someone says things in a similar way than your father or mother, for example, can bring you back right into this past experiences, and you will start seeing your partner or good friend from the lenses of your unresolved issues, and you're gonna start projecting that you know what they are thinking. You experience some maybe reconnection issue, so if there is some glitches, sorry for that. um but that's what I would be saying. Like, you cannot really start building healthy relationships until at least you don't recognize your traumas. I'm not saying we have to be 100% healthy and ready. You need to know what you're bringing into the relationships that you're building to be able to maybe inform your partners or your friends, to be able to catch them together so they can know when the triggers may appear. But just to put yourself in the space of a readiness, like, I'm ready to work on that. It doesn't mean that I have to go into hermit mode and for 10 years work on everything until I'm ready, because it doesn't happen. But thank you for sharing. If you have any follow-up question on that, you can pop it in the chat.
So I wanted to add to what you were saying. So I would ask myself, um, why am I not trusting myself? Like, do I trust myself? Do I trust myself enough to get myself help for this? Because sometimes we need the extra help. Am I trusting myself? Because trusting yourself doesn't come very easily to everyone. And so you have to build that trust with yourself over time. But it looks like uh, you're looking for guidance and you're saying that you're against your inner child. Is this the same individual?
Yes.
Okay, so you're against your inner child. Um, so your inner child and you have this trauma. So uh start cuddling with your inner child. Spend time getting to know your inner child and what they need, because your your inner child is the key to your soul, and a lot of people don't really know that. When you've been through trauma, your inner child is the key to unlocking that, and your spirit is going to bring your soul um into alignment. Like if you don't allow your inner child to heal, because it's so layered, right? If you don't allow your inner child to heal in one area or another, then you're denying the universe's abundance. If you're denying the universe's abundance, ask yourself why you would deny this abundance, because it is going to bring you to your next level. And so, why don't you want to level up? Why don't you trust yourself? And why don't you want to nurture the very thing that God placed there? This little light, right? Your inner child is the little light. Reach for God, because you can't reach for God and leave your inner child behind, because it's the same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, this process of integration. Because you see, inner child, this is the first step into integrating yourself into whole being. And of course, we also have our inner teenager that has been through very rough times. We have all those back to your true self needs to start. And we do start from inner child, mostly because that's where the most subconscious part of us are being hidden. We don't really recognize them. Very often, we don't even remember those experiences because very often we are being thrown into some dysfunctional families, or we experience something in our kindergarten, and those things really can freeze you. Those things can cause you to shut down and shut off people before you even have a chance to get to know them, because you're gonna be so scared. If there is this being against, I would ask myself, like, is it anger that I'm feeling towards my inner child? Is it the heaviness of the work that has to be done? So that's the first thing, I think, to find this a little bit compassion, and then from that stage, of course, accept that we need to integrate our inner child. No parts of us can be excluded in the journey. And all this healing really comes in layers. It doesn't mean that you have everything ready right away. You're gonna be going deeper and deeper. But one thing that comes is to nurture yourself and be your own parent. So
Mm.
this is the role that we're gonna be learning here. Yes, I didn't get that from my parents. It was very bad. But this self empowerment to actually take your experience in your own hands and hold your inner child, next to you. There are good ways to actually reconnect if that's what you're looking for. If you want to reconnect with your inner child, I think meditation is one of the most powerful things you can do. Actually sit with yourself and visualize.
You know who has a nice inner child? Um, Video. Ulf.
Oh, so maybe we can
Ulf
try to.
and I don't know if Mel made an inner child.
I did one that was shared with Mel, and
So
that was.
if we could do like the link to
Yeah, we can link it, and it will be in the comments or in the description of the video. That's for sure, because that's where it all begins. It always starts with intention. The fact that this person, that you're bringing it into the chat, that you're willing, you recognize that you're against one part of you. If you any state you find yourself, question why is that, and know that all those states can be changed, and it all starts with intention. And good thing about that is, like, then the follows first the intention, and then all the spirals will be following. You're gonna be guided, and you're gonna feel less and less resistance in yourself towards this inner integration.
what's that say?
um we have the response from the person: yes, I feel anger towards myself and scared of facing challenges to heal my trauma, like facing nightmares, remembering the past, feeling a lack of control and lack of boundaries. So it's anger, unresolved anger towards yourself. How
So
would you?
anger comes from the emotional body. So to understand why you're angry is the number one thing you have to face right now. Understand that it's coming from a place where we cannot possibly live from. You cannot live from your emotional body. It's only there to help you understand yourself. So if you're getting angry, if those triggers are feeling like they're making you out of control, understand that you're not out of control. You're just looking for, and it's a quick way, right? You're looking for a fast way to maybe address this, but you learned the wrong things. So relearn that the emotional body is not the one that you need to count on. It will be your heart. Your heart will always take you there. So you mentioned something about lack of control and lack of boundaries. So understand that you can start understanding yourself at a deeper level once you figure out what this anger and emotion is about, and start creating boundaries within your own self. Start creating boundaries for you first, and then for other people. And if people are crossing boundaries, if they're out of control and trying to control your life, well, then you know that you need to, get new people around you, because those people are sometimes not going to want you to improve your life. So, we can go on and on, but this is just the advice we have very briefly here at this moment. But you can get in touch with
Mhm.
Paulina right? Because you helped me.
Yeah,
You
or
can get in touch with Paulina, you can get in touch with me, you can
mm-hmm.
get in touch with Dio.
Yeah.
There are people in the community that
Mm-hmm.
can help you. So we'll list things in the
Mm-hmm.
in,
Yeah, we're gonna share all those
okay.
links so people can find whoever is ready, whoever wants to really take this their own personal life and journey in their hands, because that's all it's all about. Like we need to stop giving a control to other people, to other entities, to other belief systems, and just to start helping each other. Do you think once we start addressing inner child issues, since we are talking about twin flames here, do you think it can help to progress towards the next stages, next levels of the experience? Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Oh, you're very welcome. Very
Yeah, you're
welcome.
welcome. We're here to help.
Mm. Yeah, so we are, why do we do this inner work? Like, one thing is, yes, we don't want to live in pain, but at the same time, do you believe the process of integration can lead us to the next stages? Meaning there can be so many stages. This is discovering your inner gifts, this is building healthy communities, this is maybe attracting back your twin flame, your ascension partner,
Mm-hmm.
another person.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think how much there is a correlation between that, doing your inner work on inner child and resolving those issues versus next stages?
It is gonna make it's gonna mean the difference between your acceleration and your evolutionary process, and uh, whether you're gonna get there at a fast rate
Mm-hmm.
or in a slower pace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone wants to take too long, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you this can be a shortcut
Mm-hmm.
to your wellness plan, and you
Mm-hmm.
can skyrocket in in just 1 year. You
Mm-hmm.
can grow from having the personality of a woman child or a man child to I'm a full grown woman, I'm a full grown man.
Mm-hmm.
It can take about, I mean, for some people, it only takes a year. For some
Mm-hmm.
people, it takes half a year.
Mm-hmm.
It really is about what you're investing in.
Mm-hmm.
Are you investing in you? Because that's where it starts. It all starts with, are you investing in you?
Yeah, and just to add to that, it's like, what is 1 year comparing to the whole unaware life we've been living, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
really for, especially I'm talking here for people who may find it very overwhelming, this inner work and just discussing your trauma. You will be very surprised the moment you really decide to face your trauma and take on the control. It will really start getting smaller and smaller. And of course, like, there's it's work because we need to rewrite certain narratives, but you will feel more and more empowered that you can create this change in yourself. So don't get discouraged by this thoughts like, oh my god, it's gonna take so much time. Look more through the lens of, next time I'm facing this situation is gonna be easier. Next people I'm gonna be meeting, they're gonna be healthier because I'm not gonna be able to tolerate broken people. So it has such a big range of positive side effects once you start doing it. So I would start to look into those positives to give yourself additional encouragement. Many people are having encouragement in a as a in a form of another person, right? Like, I'm doing this inner work because they told me if the separation happens, that means I'm not good enough. I need to work on myself. And once I worked through all my traumas, my twin flame will be back. Or
Mm.
this is such a that's the main narrative we all have. And it's important to reconsider that we are doing this work for ourselves. I'm not talking in a very selfish way. I'm saying you are giving this experience to being mirrored all your unresolved issues to improve your life, to start attracting healthy people. Whoever comes back, whether or not, like, this is side effect of that. You're gonna be happy that you are on the path of really embracing your journey
Mm.
and discovering yourselves and taking control over those very subconscious patterns, fears, and traumas from the past. So it's very empowering. Do you want some add something to it?
Oh,
If
no.
not,
No, there's,
okay. Survivor 1111. Self hatred can be developed because of parents parental
Yeah.
lack of attention to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you think you are not good enough for them. So you develop
Mm-hmm.
negative thoughts to
Mm-hmm.
inner self that evolve over time.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm. No, I think this is very good advice, and the
That was
keyword
my
can
experience
evolve.
for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah. So it's this self-parenting, like
Oh
stepping back
yeah.
is okay. I can be my own parent. I'm not gonna project that on anyone else, including my partner. Maybe they are not here to parent us. We are playing these roles from time to time if it's needed to highlight some things. But this self-powering parenting, it's very, again, like very empowering
Mm-hmm.
that we are taking this into our own hands, and your inner child will be showing you that you will, if you will be beginning like tap in into your inner child during meditations, you will see this narrative shifting from maybe crying, scared, angry inner child until the healthy, more maybe more courageous, more open. You will be able to visualize that where does your inner child stands. And one thing I wanted just to maybe wrap up this inner child things is you can actually observe, because you mentioned angers, have a look if that was actually not your inner child being angry at something, because
Mm-hmm.
that could be either you're angry or your inner child tries to get in contact with you by showing, expressing anger that maybe in the past it was not possible to express, it was not safe to
Mm-hmm.
express. So that was the only thing I wanted to touch on that.
And to allow it to
Mm-hmm.
express itself.
Yeah, maybe the very first time.
Allow it.
Mm-hmm.
Allow your inner child to express itself.
Yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit more because I want to bring this maybe new paradigm of a twin flame as we are entering. I can see how it's changing. I can see how labels are slowly dissolving, and more people are not really paying that much of attention into labeling people as there are so many, right? Like karmic and twin flames, and
Mm-hmm.
even those are the ones that are, I think, keeping people sometimes stuck because we like to be attached to the labels because it gives us sense of belonging of some sort. And but even, what do you think about labeling connections after? Because you see, twin flames is a, we can explain as very often people playing out this dynamics of run or chasing until they are mature enough to recognize that this is too much drama and let's just get together. Do you think, should we be labeling people after that, and what would be the reason? Like, is it, do you think it's useful, do even from our human understanding, and do you think there are some names for it, and should we be using it?
I'm gonna say no. But I can understand if you're in the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
your journey,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe you do need some labels. Labels for clarification, right? But I'm gonna say one thing about twin flames. You're still a twin flame.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a twin flame, right? But we don't call ourselves uh karmic, like, oh, you're my karmic sister, you're my soulmate sister.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're just doing the sister thing,
Mm-hmm.
and make it simple, keep it
Mm-hmm.
simple. So getting back to the original question,
Mm-hmm.
right? These things do help. The labels do help. It brings a little clarity sometimes, but we're not here to be show offy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this and that. Twin flames are doing a dance.
Mm-hmm.
Twin flames know how to dance like nobody's business. And
Mm-hmm.
the only way they know how to dance is if they become like water.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch water droplets when it rains, you'll see the dance. If you watch the ocean crash against the rock wall, you'll see the dance. Twin flames are angels in water, right? We were
Mm-hmm.
talking about that a little bit,
Yeah.
something like that this morning. They are like synchronized angelic dancers, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's just my
Mm-hmm.
terminology right now, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to see it that way. You have to see the message in there because we are fluid because we have to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're malleable because we have to be. Because if you can't do that, you might as well just walk away
Mm,
from the journey.
mm,
If you can't get to that point at some time in your journey, you need to ask yourself why. Why can't I be fluid? Why can't I be malleable? Because how is the universe supposed to work with against the current? If you're going against what the universe has for you,
mm.
then what are you doing?
I see that really as temporary because we were talking. I think the biggest issue, and I'm asking about it, is flame label. This is the most definite title that we like to put on people. The moment you associate someone as your twin flame or define someone as your twin flame, is such a hard belief system to unroot. Honestly, people are so protective of that, and I think the only way is to be able to know yourself well enough to take all the labeling apart and being able to assess truly the connection, whether it's giving you a spiritual growth and evolution or not. And be ready if someone who you're considering as a twin flame doesn't want to evolve with you and you see they're causing you a lot of this spiritual stagnation in your evolution, have a courage to reconsider your labels. I'm not saying it doesn't mean that you're not a twin flame anymore, because this is, again, this gives you sense of belonging, that we are in spiritual community, we have someone to reach out to. This is all good, unless you're getting very protective of your current belief system. So my advice would be, don't assume you know who is your twin flame. That's very, because again, like it will keep you stuck, because we will be protecting this very very
It's
experience. And not only that, I think I see it through the lens of, we have so much pressure into about getting into union, and people will be doing everything what is possible to not to lose the connection, to reach finally the union, almost like it was a holy grail. And
That's a good way to put
all the unhealthy behaviors will be explained, or
it.
maybe excused, because your mind put a label of a twin flame on someone. So this is mostly, I'm talking of the cases when you're recognizing unhealthy behaviors. And again, we do have triggers here, but unhealthy behaviors in which your soul is really setting an alarm and saying that you need to reconsider that something is unhealthy, or something is being taken away from your life. So I think I'm just very big supporter of, even for this twin flame definitions, but especially into always questioning what you know and what you believe and what you held to be true, because this is this fluidity, right? Like, I don't care who this person was or that. It's like, I'm really, my evolution is guiding me forward. Oh, if the next person is feels more like a twin flame, great. Let me try to work it out, but don't, because I think some people may have issues to move on another on to other connections because they don't want to leave the label behind, and that prevents them to see actually the whole picture of experience, that this is a twin flame energy we're speaking about, not twin flame couple of one soul split in half, and as this is this old paradigm. So sorry for the rant.
Oh
That had
no,
to
it's
be
good.
remembered, I think, to put it out there again.
It's good.
Okay, I think we don't have so far questions. Oh, so I think we can talk about talking about labels, which is, I think, a little bit more general term that it also helps. What do you think about, and how do you define ascension partners? For someone who is not familiar, they can choose to adopt this definition if it's easier, but what would you say if you want to share?
I love that term because it's multifaceted, right? You don't have to be a romantic ascension partner. You can have an ascension partner everywhere around the world. You can have many ascension partners all at once. Hopefully, you're not sleeping with them all. But aside from that, right? Ascension partners are here to help you grow, right? And your ascension partner and you are going to be working on certain things, and you're going to be just kind of blossoming.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be blossoming and growing and flowing. And so I love the term ascension partner because it is about the evolutionary
Mm-hmm.
process. If you evolve, you ascend,
Mm-hmm.
you evolve, and it keeps going and going and going. And it's simple, right? It's a simple term, and it can explore so many different types of
Mm-hmm.
ascension partners. So you would be the sister mother ascension partner for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to use labels.
Mm-hmm.
And Deal would be the father brother ascension partner, or and you can go all the
Mm-hmm.
way through all the people you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they could play this role for you. And the best thing about it is that you when you get to that point, you don't take anything personally anymore. You don't, because you see how precious life is. You see how every moment counts, and you don't want to waste it. And you become that water that we
Mm-hmm.
talked about that can
Yeah.
just flow anywhere.
Where detachment was coming. And I
Mm-hmm.
think detachment is a key, probably, to let those connections blossom in this sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because ascension partners, that can be. I wanted to talk about dimensions.
Good.
Do you think, how do you deal with maybe difference between different dimensions of certain people? It's like, I'm talking about the situations in which our soul is telling us something,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't seem to match like a 3D reality what we are experiencing from someone. Like, we can get some telepathy messages.
Mm-hmm.
How do we deal with that, considering that we may have ascension partner? Can.
Don't just rely on telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
Rely on your heart center,
Mm-hmm.
and rely on something called a telephone. Call them up and ask them and get your true answer
Mm-hmm.
in the 3D,
Yeah.
so that you don't have to make assumptions, and you don't have to make guessing games, and you don't have to play games. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessary. What a waste of energy.
Mm-hmm.
It really is a waste of energy. And you understand that as you go along the journey. Man, I really wasted all that energy. But yeah,
Do you think some people may be afraid to touch base with each other because they are afraid to discover the truth?
absolutely. This goes back to truth. Are you being your truth? Sometimes that's it. But
Mm-hmm.
we're all trying to get to this truth, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody's truth is different,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Of
So
course.
don't block yourself when you're trying to get there. When you get trying to get to your next
Mm-hmm.
levels, don't block yourself by playing games. Don't block yourself by lying to yourself. I think many people lie to themselves. So many, because they were afraid of this, that, and the other. But go to the source. That's what I'm saying. Go to the source.
Mm-hmm.
Get it from them. Because if it's not coming from them, then
Mm-hmm.
it's not proof.
Is it possible that it will be coming from someone else, possibly? Because we do have those open channels, right? Is it possible that we have a message and we are so sure that it's coming from one individual, but then it's just our radio.
So we go back to,
What?
are we trusting ourselves?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are you trusting yourself? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you trust yourself, everything comes in clear.
Mm-hmm. So just looking through again from the heart, not
Look
emotional
in your heart
body. Mm-hmm.
and learn to do the dance between the mind and the soul, because the
Mm-hmm.
mind and the spirit and the soul, they all have to be
Mm.
doing that
So
dance.
would you say that mind is also necessary in the journey? Like,
Absolutely, we need
in
our
what
minds.
in what situations, for instance, if you can give some example, when would you consider?
We need our minds because we can't float around,
Mm.
you know? We need our minds to ground us. We need our minds to get us from point A to point B, but to live from here.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't live from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we can't live from here, what's the point? You might as well just be a brain. Here,
Mm-hmm.
come here, brain.
I was just thinking if if our mind can help us to navigate even connections better, because people like so much to say, oh, don't even listen to your mind, it's all your ego speaking, and it's only listen to your heart or even to your soul, but take out a mind from that. It's like, oh, maybe there are positive sides to your mind. Maybe we do have a mental body for a
It,
reason, but
mm,
once it's a little bit purified, so you don't operate
yes.
from your um, either like traumas, or we are paranoid sometimes, right? Like we have different things, but I think I'm a supporter of using your mind in the journey, because we do have to have all of those things in the right order, because
Mm,
I think it's through the mind that we are experiencing our 3D experience here.
mm.
So we are tracking the balance of whether reality really matches what we are experiencing on those different dimensions. Mm.
You brought something up. A really good point. The so I'm thinking about the maturity, right?
Mm.
But there's maturity in all levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a mature mind,
Mm-hmm.
but a very immature personality. You can
Mm-hmm.
have a very uh, mature mind, but a very immature inner child. You can have and so the thing is that you have to get everything leveled out.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes soul work, and how much dedication are you going to put into this? And hopefully you're super dedicated, because the result is amazing,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can't really compare it to
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm. I'm just kind of thinking, we were talking that, so in order to get yourself in the right state, we need to take care of our mental body. So don't allow, if someone has issues with, like, mental maturity talks to a little bit about this, this schizophrenic tendencies or paranoid tendencies, or maybe getting too much lost in what your spiritual ego tries to project, right?
Mm-hmm.
So getting hold on to these parts. Managing your emotional body means nothing else than don't react on your emotions right away. Treat them as a guidance of what is going on with you, what is your emotional state, how your inner child even is responding to the event. So this has to be in the right state, and we can work on this emotional health of emotional body. um what about energetic body? Do you feel, can we have issues with our energetic bodies, and if yes, should we be working towards balancing our energetic body in order to navigate our soul connections better and the whole ascension process better?
So the question is, what's running our energetic body?
Hmm.
What's running it?
I don't know. It came to me to talk about it, so I'm thinking that will be probably something related to our chakras, or maybe how we are processing the energies that want to speak through us. So
Mm-hmm.
probably, how do we deal with channeled messages?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going freely? Is it
Mm-hmm.
getting maybe contaminated somehow?
Mm-hmm. It can be. And that's something everyone knows. When they channel messages, it can be contaminated at some point, but you learn how to control what's coming through, because you're going to have boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a clear vision about what you want to put out there for yourself, for the people that you're helping, and you're going to trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things have to be happening in order for those fields to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
And when those fields are clear, you're going to have such clear, whenever you need it, whenever
Mm-hmm.
this one needs it, it comes through quickly, smoothly, it delivers, and that's it. But you have to work on all of those bodies so that your energy body is functioning
Mm-hmm.
at its peak level.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks for clarifying because I was not sure.
Yeah.
But I knew that there is something, that there is this energetic layer, since we are talking about spiritual connections, energy connections, and we do feel energies with our counterparts. Like, you can't deny,
Yeah.
for anyone who was in
Yeah.
twin flame, that's like, this is magnetic pull, and
Mm-hmm.
what is it doing? Of course, the more, and I think that's why it came to me, the more balanced is your energy body, the less, and of course, it's interconnected with all the other bodies we are discussing, but the connection you'll be dealing with will feel more and more aligned. Not only that, more and more balanced and peaceful, because you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be able to access those higher vibrations, talking on the peaceful vibration. So, individuals that you're gonna be meeting and recognizing on a soul level, they're going to be more and more pure and balanced, and that's how we're going to be moving towards this very nice gentle flow. There will be less drama, less tension in our fields.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe that that is going to be part of this balancing, in order for you to bring yourself into this peaceful state. And said and done. Hi, thanks for the chat, for coming to the chat, and if you have anything, please ask. Oh, Karen's here. Hi.
Hi, Karen.
Nice to see you. Um,
And thank you, Karen. I love you.
it's a,
Karen helped me. You see, we're talking
mhm,
about community. We're talking
mhm,
about the twin flame support system here. And the most unlikely people,
mm,
right? You think you're alone. Oh, I can't get past this. This is out of control. But then all of a
mm,
sudden, this person's name pops up. Somebody mentions, oh, this person helped me. There they are.
mhm,
And they have the key and
mhm,
allow the key. So don't turn away people that can help you, is what I'm
mhm.
saying.
And don't think you can do everything you
You
alone.
cannot do everything on your own. Thank you, Karen.
Not only that, I would say, don't think that all your solutions will be coming from the higher source, because it's easy to get lost into this, like, oh my God, I'm so connected to the universe, they will be providing all the guidance I need. Meanwhile, rejecting actually our very human advice systems that we have.
Mm.
That maybe someone mentions something, maybe someone recommends something to you, and you're gonna be thinking, no, 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 this only, they are only humans here, like what they can know. To actually see people who are coming and reaching out to you as just the expression of the universe, not through get
Yes.
meditation, it's like literally manifestation of those energies here that
Mm-hmm.
we are attracting to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very beautiful, and of course those soul family members will be appearing more and more as you do your inner work, as you purify your field. The only, I think, tricky period is when you really decide to embrace your separation. You feel like you're alone. So yes, initially, I think you're really working on your spirituality and higher connection to your higher self,
Mm-hmm.
and through trust and knowing and maybe sharing what we are sharing here, trusting that right connections will be getting back to you, but maybe not the old ones, the new ones, because it's gonna be replaced.
What
Mm.
did she say?
We share our experiences.
Yes. I
Yeah.
am so grateful.
Mm.
We do. We share our experiences. That's what Karen said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's such a beautiful um, flow with the universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful because you open yourself up, you become vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
and you get the help.
Oh, so the first thing is probably detachment from your trauma, right? Like,
Oh
how
yeah.
can you reach for
Oh
help if
yeah.
you're ashamed of
Uh-huh.
what happened to you? This is
Mm-hmm.
this vulnerability, really, first with yourself, to say, oh, I had a very bad thing happen to
Oh
me,
yeah.
and then I need help. And then the magic happens, really, because it's, and I think it begins with this first step of putting your intention out there, and this inner power. Mm.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to shift from adult to child. It's okay
Mm-hmm.
because we have each other. We have each other's back.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I experienced it yesterday.
Mm.
So don't be afraid to allow that to be the part of the process of healing yourself and getting to deeper layers that you really didn't know were there.
And opening, yeah, I think touching base and not blocking, right? If your inner child comes from you, through you,
Yeah.
and wants to express, it's a very beautiful thing to allow it to come through and express. And you've experienced that on yourself, like how your inner child gradually was opening up and changing behaviors, even, right, and
Yeah.
responses.
Yeah. And you can't be afraid of that because it really is going back in time. You're really going back in time to maybe make a connection, reclaim your power, to tell your inner child we're safe, we're going to do this together, we're going to do that together to get through what we need to get through for the next step.
Oh, so one question pop up, because I'm still bringing topic back to the twin flames or spiritual connections here is here. But what would you say about your experience with those twin flame like experiences in your journey and meeting with each individual?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if you can share as much as you want.
The expressions, first of all,
or maybe your
they
approach.
come they come according to where you are in your journey so far. So each person that you meet, and I'm not even going to say I had X amount of twins, or I had partners for 2 minutes, 5 days, a month, and they all came to knock on my door and show me the mirror. The famous mirror, right? They all came to show me the mirror. Hopefully they saw the mirror too, but we're talking about me. I saw the mirror and I couldn't look away, because after a certain point you don't want to look away. You want to get in there and figure out, why did I see this in the mirror? Oh my gosh, I didn't know that I was behaving this way. Let me find out why. Let me see if I can get to the root of this. And that is a gift from the universe, to see everyone as a mirror, not just your own reflection, but everybody else's.
Or label.
Or label. And these things get you from point A to point B, and you keep going and going and going.
So again, it's like a very big flexibility in how long certain connections have to be, and just really focusing, okay, what is this mirror showing me? What can I improve?
I think the worst thing that we do when we have connections is make assumptions. It is one of the worst things we can ever do, is make assumptions, because when you make an assumption, you're not getting the whole picture, you're not getting the truth. And then sometimes you give up on the truth. And that's okay, because hey, if we're water, we're going to be, making other water droplets and creating that way. But try not to make assumptions on the journey, and please get to the truth by contacting whoever you need to contact to make it as smooth a journey as possible.
Yeah, I think one single thing that we wouldn't want to waste, although we can, and this is our choice, is time.
Time.
It's very precious time here, because we can evolve so fast. And with I'm not talking with the right connection, with your right approach, you can evolve so fast without even putting any expectations of what the other person has to represent. Because I do believe that as you progress, when you're choosing yourself and do your inner work, based on your best version of yourself, that's if that's your motivation, the right connection will really not have meaning to fall apart. The only way, or maybe the only reason, that certain connection falls apart when you choose yourself, well, probably was not meant to be. But as you choose yourself and you see you're still flowing, again, without expecting to anyone become anything here, you will feel the continuity, that the doors is still open. You may not have a clue how it's gonna be shown in your 3D reality, but you will feel softness. So, and that touches a little bit on how we feel when we are not fully aligned, when we are compromising ourselves, and it really, this word of time or timeline comes way too often recently, but you can feel like you're dancing in between timelines
Mm-hmm.
by making different choices.
Mm-hmm.
And very often, like the highest one that you can choose for yourself is your inner self-care and self-worth. So if that you put that in the first plan, you're gonna see that, oh my god, I'm back to myself. I feel I've been through ups and downs, and I felt like myself, like not myself at all. It was super wacky. But then I reclaimed my authentic self, and the best part of it is the more you practice that, and it will be happening naturally because we are all getting more sensitive as we do our work, you're gonna start recognizing that, catching that, and being less and less reactive. And it's just kind of jiggling um those different expressions of yourself, less authentic, more authentic, but this core real true
Yeah.
self will be, you will know how it feels. And I think this is very precious to
Mm.
know. You cannot fool yourself, and
No.
it's very difficult to, even if it may feel very challenging, you will still get back to your authentic expression, what has to be said, what has to be done, what you cannot tolerate any longer. And that's, I think, how we swift through those like non-authentic, not only connections but just expressions of ourselves, our own behaviors towards ourselves.
I think a really good way to look at the journey is, and this might be silly, how would you feel if you opened up a gift and it was a box of denial? How would you, how would you feel if you got a gift and it was a box of liars? How would you feel if you got a gift and it was a box of half truth
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
with question marks everywhere?
I would just wrap it up. I would just open it all and just start questioning them all and not really believe to anything right away. Like, it's just, I think it's very a very big comfort you can give to yourself when you can question your reality. And I'm not saying getting crazy. I'm saying giving time to observe and connect to your mind, to your soul, to your heart, to see which reality that is showing with you in front of you is actually matching. Like, what is this core truth that we are experiencing here? And it only takes time, right? Like, we need to observe ourselves, we need to observe our emotions through different scenarios and just really reconnect ourselves. But this is how we are going through the spiritual awakening. We are just discovering how many lies we were or we were believing, or how many half truths, as you said, right? Like, what was not fully true. It's not like
Yeah.
everything is always the whole lie. It's just we are looking still through limited lenses. Like, oh my god, we have only one twin. We have only like I'm still searching for my divine feminine, or I this is my, he is mine, she is my, da da da. So that means that I'm on a twin flame journey. Um, and again, this is like little truths that we are connecting, but we never see the whole picture. And this is the proper understanding that you may see 10%, but the rest is up to the energies and universe to present you with the whole rest of the story, which is currently unfolding. And it's unfolding all the time based on what you are representing with your own self. Mm.
It should be in constant motion with the universe, but because you're dragging your feet,
Mm-hmm.
but because you are keeping yourself small, but because
Mm-hmm.
you're not able to see the constant motion until you are in the flow. And who wants to let go of the flow?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody raises their hand. Hey, Paulina, do
Mm.
you want to let go of the flow? Are you going to raise your
Of
hand?
course not. No,
No.
it's almost like comparing the lake and river. Like, we were seeing these
Yeah.
lakes, and the water was just stagnant and
Stagnant.
sticky. And
Stagnant.
why would you be a lake? You can be a river and be fluid and flow. And then you see we're all connecting with this big ocean. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, anyways, but just this. I'm hoping people are getting the difference between this constant flow and motion. The moment you are giving yourself a freedom for your story to unfold, and start being excited for it. Don't be afraid of changes. Don't be afraid of people that will be switching roles, and we're gonna be feeling different about different people as we move through the journey. Because very often when you learn certain lesson from someone, and this is just one example, but that's gonna be transforming. So I think we need to allow those relationships to transform, because not all of them they have to fall away. Sometimes they will, but it's just really switching off this human mind of understanding that it's A or B and nothing else in between.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like what we said earlier. You have to be malleable because the universe can't work with you if you have already been cooked. If you are clay, yes, the universe is like, yeah, we can bring this one, we could bring that one. This one's gonna create this amazing flow for this one. Oh, but they're already cooked. Next. Right? They're gonna skip you and be like, next.
No, just stay on this. Like,
I'm just kidding. But yeah,
that.
you have to find your way to get there because it's fun when you get to this part. It's so fun.
You can get there, definitely. That there is one very simple way, and it's to say, I don't know. Is that one or that one? Is that this person, that person? I don't know. Show me. And I'm going to assess as I go. I'm going to embrace everything. I'm going to be very happy when new things and new truths will be unfolding. And it's going to be way more fascinating than just trying to stick into one and protecting and be very obsessed about
And fearful.
Yeah.
Like you're going backwards, man. Why are you going backwards? You learned that you don't have to fear anything. You learn, why am I going back to fear? I thought I handled that already.
Yeah. And it's okay too, right? Like it just happens temporarily, but the majority of the time you should be spending in your courageous self and facing your fears, not really giving them powers. I think there are no more questions for a little bit.
Is there anything else that comes to me? I'm hearing a very important question from someone in our soul group.
What's the question?
It's a statement. It's an advice, I guess, from someone in our soul group. Use the power of the soul.
Okay, I think that's summarized beautifully our discussion. I don't know if that I can just guess who was coming from.
Yeah, because we share that. And that's okay. That shouldn't scare people. That should make you feel like, wow, we all have the universe and the universe is co-creating with us because we're giving back. And that's all it is. Yeah.
All right. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Thanks for sharing everything, and we should probably keep making those live chats. Maybe we'll come back in a shared screen, but that was very good. If you happen to have any more questions that we could address in the videos, please let us know in the comments. We're gonna be also sharing all these resources so people can reach out to the people they feel guided. And meanwhile, I think stay tuned for more.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.